Okay, sorry. People kept stopping me. I'm like, I gotta go. Okay, go.
Okay, yes. Welcome to, I guess they call it Rub-a-Dub. Rub-a-dub-dub, 3 men at a tub. We're doing laundry, so. Brother Burchard mentioned briefly, talked about sanitation. This is part of the sanitation. In one of the articles that Debbie sent out, she mentions that the biggest cause of death after the devastating Indian Ocean tsunami in 2004 that initially killed over 230,000 people was the lack of clean water and poor sanitation practices in the weeks and months after the wave hit. So if you imagine 230,000 people were killed prior to, and more people were killed after because of poor sanitation, and part of that is clean clothes. During times of emergency, it is critical that sanitation be strictly observed in the cleaning of clothes, bedding material, and all kitchen and food preparation utensils. Typhoid fever, amoebic dysentery, diarrhea, infectious hepatitis, salmonella, and giardia are diseases that spread rapidly in times of emergency and threaten all. Yet are all diseases that can be easily controlled by simply following the rules of good sanitation. And so that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today, is just good sanitation involving laundry. There's different types of way that you can actually do laundry. You can do it by hand. Just have a bucket, this is full, you know, and just wash it with hand, you know, hand type thing, which takes a lot of time. A little bit more advanced is if you have the tub and you have the board, and you can washboard that you can rub it, the clothes against the washboard and do that. There's other types of what they call machine type things. A little bit advanced to that one is where you have a bucket. They cut a hole in the lid, and then you have a toilet plunger or the deluxe model, which has some special features in here that forces the water through the fabric and things like that, makes it easier. But you put your water and your clothes in there, and then just by plunging up and down agitates the water and stuff, and it helps get the clothes clean. So that'd be a little bit easier than the other two methods and stuff like that. They've even got a deluxe model, and we don't have one, where it's a tub or a contained thing with water in it and a hand crank kind of type thing, and it agitates it, and the clothes and stuff will help get cleaned that way and stuff. So it's just up to you which kind of way you want to do it. How many loads of laundry you do roughly in a week?
Probably about 17, 20.
You know, so the more you do, the more, you know, economic things. I mean, I don't think you want to be doing 17 loads of clothes by hand, you know, the scrubbing brush and things like that, you know. So you want to be more practical type things. Another really simple, easy one is this kind where they call 3 buckets. And what you do, the bottom bucket, you drill some holes in the bottom so the water can drain through. And that's all you do. That's all you do with that bucket there. The middle bucket, you're going to drill a whole bunch of small holes in the bottom. This is the bucket that your clothes are going to go in after they've been washed. So I guess this would be for rinsing and drying your clothes.
Wringing.
What you need to do is wash your clothes in one bucket, then you need another bucket to rinse them in, and then a third bucket to rinse them again. And that will help get the detergents and stuff out of them. And then you can actually use the second bucket after a few loads to do your wash in, because the first one's gotten too filthy. Then you can use the second one for wash, and you use that first and then rotate it down to rinse again. So it's easier if you do 3 buckets at a time. So this would be for rinsing.
No, wringing.
Wringing the clothes out. Rather than, okay. You can do it by hand, which you're not going to get a whole bunch out. So this is another method of doing it. Take the so the first bucket has just a bunch of holes in the bottom of it. The second bucket, or the middle bucket, has a whole bunch of small holes in the bottom, and this is where you're going to put the clothes in this bucket here. Then on the top bucket is just a plain bucket. You're going to put the clothes are in there, this on top of this there, and you're going to sit on it, and it's going to squeeze the water out of the...
So you wash it, putting the water in the top bucket?
No, you're no water in this at all. This is when you've washed the clothes, and you're trying to dry and wring the water out of the clothes after you've rinsed stuff. So if you put the
What's
wet
good
clothes, in
They're
there,
already washed clothes.
they're already washed, they're rinsed and everything like that. You're just trying to wring the water out of them. They're going to go in that bucket there, and then you're going to. This will be up like this because you'll be full of clothes. And
Yeah.
If you sit on it, it's going to squish, put some weight on that, and it's going to help force the
So
water
much
out.
easier than wringing.
So this
So
is
then the
what-
water, the water will drain out of here into that bottom bucket, and then it will drain out through these holes here, so out on your lawn or whatever else you need.
Well,
to.
and if you
So
if
you wash them in this.
You're gonna wash them in that
And
and
then
rinse
put 'em in
them,
there.
and once they've been rinsed, then you're gonna put them in here to wring them out, to get the clothes, to get the water out. Rather than try wringing by hand, especially the Levi's or heavy duty clothes or things like that. You know, that's a lot of towels, whatever, that's a lot of wringing, and you're not gonna get as much water out. So by doing it this method, you're gonna get a lot more water out of it. Another thing they have, this is actually a mop from I borrowed there, but they've got some type of wringers like this where you can actually put clothes in and wring
Linda, can you move it out a little?
a little bit.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, and you can put clothes in there, and once again, it has the same wringing method that you can use that to wring the water out of clothes. So there's other products out there that just be creative and start thinking, oh well, that will wring the clothes out of, you know, wring water out of the clothes and things like that. And then once you wring them, then you're gonna dry them. You can use rope, and if you're using the rope, then you want like a nylon based or a covered wire type thing with some clothespins, and you can just hang them out in the sun and let them dry. They'll just drip dry. You know, take time that way. I'm sure you've seen the folding racks in the store where you can just lay clothes over that type of thing like that. Or Debbie showed us the real nifty little type thing here. It comes in a box. It comes like this, so it's real easy. That just legs go like that. And these just lay out here. And then you can lay your clothes and stuff on there and set it out there in the sun. And that's another method that drying rack there for drying and things like that. So there's a lot of different types of things out there. You could probably even make something your own or whatever. Just kind of see what works with your family and use different methods and things like that. So that's just a little bit about what you need for washing your clothes, that type of a thing. Part of washing clothes is your detergent. We figured just briefly going to the store, buying a box of Tide or Gain or whatever brand you use it. 20 to 50 cents a load is basically roughly the cost of detergent where you're doing that. You can make some of your own home and keep it at home a lot cheaper than that. In the past, we've used in other years, Debbie's made this kind here, which is a liquid soap. And this is, yeah, it kind of solidifies up. We've got samples over there for each of you to take, but there's that will make one batch. And you put this in the bottom of the washing machine first, and then put your clothes in on top of it. But that's a liquid, and that comes out to 1 penny per load. That's a lot cheaper.
Actual recipe?
We have. She's up here. Have the recipes on them. We can pass those out to everybody. But
I'll get it.
basically, what this one is, it takes the Fels naphtha or Zot soap. Sheila.
Question, with your different soaps, how do they do with these HE washers, and how are they for reclaimed gray water and septic systems?
Okay, I don't know about reclaimed, but I can tell you all the soaps we're about to show you are low sudsing, which is the best for HE washing machines. So they work in both of them. They actually work better in HEs than what than most other things.
Okay.
That's what I have at my house, and it works great.
And the phosphate level for your
Oh, for your other stuff?
septic system?
Well, I don't know what to tell you with that. I don't know what that is, so I don't know. You'd
Okay.
have to go online and do some research with that part of it, because I don't know.
All right, thank you.
Is that all? Everybody's got them?
Okay, if you want a liquid type soap, this is the one that Debbie has used, and you've used it for several years. haven't
Yeah,
you?
Linda's been using it more than I have, and she uses
Okay.
it all the time.
Linda
Smells really
Judd,
good.
who's teaching, we're working with one of the classes, she uses this kind all the time and stuff. And so this one, we've talked about it before in other years and stuff, but what this one is, it's the Fels Naphtha, or you can use the Zott, and what you do is you grate it up. Those are at any of the
What's
stores.
the funny grocery store down here that we don't have? It's down Avenue K.
Well, Winco
Winco
has
is
it. Yeah, some of the others have. But anyway, what we did, we took it. Debbie, I just figured they could grab it as they go out. That's why I said by the. Oh, they can smell. We can smell.
Smells
Okay.
really
But anyway, this is the bar of soap, and we just put it in a food processor and ground it up. Shredded it, like cheese, grated it like cheese. Or you can hand grate it if you want to do that. Then, because it was still a little bit chunky and we wanted a little bit finer, be easier to dissolve, we then just put the blade in the food processor and ground it, chopped it up, and so it went like this. And,
It's a little silky tasting.
I thought it was the dessert.
yeah.
I was making some of that.
Yeah, no. Okay. Now, it says you can use the Fels Naphtha or Zott soap. Now, this is the Fels Naphtha, which is kind of a yellowish color. The Zott soap is a pink, and it's a softer soap, and so it was a little bit harder in when grating it and chopping it up. But if you put a little bit of, because it asks for borax, if you put a little bit of borax in with it, I think it would, in the blender, it'd help go it. But my understanding is the reason the Zott soap is softer, it has a little bit more oil in it. So you might, so you check that out. So check that out, and whichever way you want to do it, but it recommends either way. It also says you could even use ivory soap, bar soap in that to that. But okay, so it calls for the bar soap. It asks for washing soda. You want washing soda, not baking soda, for this recipe. This is over by the laundry detergent.
Okay.
It is by the laundry detergent.
You've got baking soda up there too.
I know, but this is for a different recipe.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so for this recipe, you want to use the washing soda, the bars of soap, and the borax. And what you basically do is you grind your bars of soap. You're going to put it in a pan of water. You use like 8 cups of water and put the soap in it, and you're going to cook it until the soap's all dissolved into the water. It took about 15 minutes for it to dissolve, and then you want it to cook until it starts to thicken up. And it was about 15 minutes of cooking time to do that. And then once that's done, then you add the powders to it and continue cooking, and it thickens it up. And then once that's done, then we just poured it into a bucket and we measured it and added enough water so it was 2 gallons. So the recipe that you have on there will actually make 2 gallons. As we said, it comes out to about a penny a load. We figured, Debbie, how much loads did we figure one of these made?
For that basic one, it makes 1,500 loads. With one recipe,
One
100.
box. One box of this. Because
One-
you would need about 2 boxes to 1 box of that. So it, quantity-wise there. So. But-
So with the basic one, if you have 1 box of borax, 2 boxes of
of
washing soda, and
8 bars of soap.
8 bars of soap, you can have a 5-year supply of laundry. It'll be 1,500 loads of laundry for
A penny
about
apiece.
$15.
And the storage after it's mixed up?
It stores. Now, you may not want to mix,
Well, you do 2 gallons at a time of it.
yeah, we did 2 gallons at a time. So,
And
you
it
may,
lasts until you use it up.
so however many loads. 2 gallons, add a 1/4 cup to your wash, and it should make, 2 gallons makes 100 washes.
I see powder here.
Okay, we're doing the
We're
liquid.
gonna do
We're
the
talking
powder
about the
next.
liquid only
There's
one
2
right now.
different recipes.
There's several different recipes we're going to, but that's, so this liquid one that we just talked about today, the 2 gallons will make, by using a 1/4 cup, will make 100 washes. And so, and as I said, and it well, you can see it's kind of a thick pudding consistency and stuff, and so you store it in your big bucket. I guess before you use, you just stir it a little bit.
I just keep a whisk in
there's
mine.
There's a little bit of liquid down at the bottom, so you know, just stir it a little bit before you use it. But then you can use that. But then that's that.
Yeah,
and you
I
can,
just use a whisk.
They
in
got
mine.
these nice little 2-gallon buckets there at Winco now with your
With the little mini
your gamma
gamma
lids
seals.
on it and stuff, so you can get it if that way if you want to, and in a store and makes it, you know, just perfect like that.
But can I
Now-
just say one more thing?
Yes.
Another thing about the laundries or the soaps you learned about today, they're all hypoallergenic. So go ahead.
Now, another very simple, easy liquid one that we just found out about, and we haven't tried it, but we made it up, is this here. And what you do is you use 4 tablespoons of borax, 4 tablespoons of the washing soda, to 1 gallon of water, and then like 3 tablespoons of Dawn liquid soap. And what you do is take about 4 cups of very hot water, just out of your tap. It doesn't need to be boiling or anything like that. Add your powders to it, get that all dissolved up, and then I put water up almost full before I added the Dawn soap. Because if you put the Dawn soap in first and then fill it with water, you're going to get a lot of suds and everything like that, a lot of bubbles and stuff. So by filling it up almost all the way first, then adding the liquid soap to it, you didn't have the bubbles and stuff, and did that. And then you're supposed to be able to just use a 1/4 cup of that per load.
We have not tried that one yet.
We haven't tried. We just got the recipe, so we'll try it. We'll let them. We'll do that.
Dawn's
Then the-
pretty good for getting grease out of stuff and everything.
So it should work. So we're hoping like that. Okay. Then the second kind of soap you have there is the powder. This is a new one too that we have, and that's this other recipe. That's where you take 4 boxes of baking soda, 1 box of the borax, and then 1 box of the washing soda. You also use 1 box or 1 container of this OxiClean. And because the lace is to her makes really important that her clothes need to smell good, that she uses the
Well, not only that, but that is
crystals.
a fabric softener too. So it's gonna it's a dry fabric softener that we're now adding in. So now you have an all-in-one laundry detergent. The crystals.
Okay, now that's what your small container is there. So when you mix all of those in together, once again, you take your soap, you're going to grind it up like we did before and make those small things and stuff. And this one, you can just put in dry into your things, into your laundry loads. You don't need to make it liquid or anything like that, but it works fine that way. We did find when you're making it that if you put maybe like 1 box of soda, part of this, part of that, and mix it together first, then add some more and mix it together again. And by using your hands was the easiest things in mixing and stuff like that, because once again it makes a bucket full. And well, you've seen we made all of those things. We've still got plenty here and stuff. And so if you just take your hands and mix it through, but you can see what it like. It smells good. And stuff. So
Is that 5 cents or 50 cents a load?
this one comes to 10 cents a load.
This one? Okay, because you had point.
Oh, she point 5 cents. No, I think we figured.
What?
Didn't we figure this one at 10
Okay,
cents a
so
load?
this is how it works. The instructions tell you 1 to 2 tablespoons. And when I got to thinking about it, I did some more
Yeah.
research last night.
But you said 0.5, so it should be 0.05.
Oh yeah, 0.05, sorry. 0.05. The research is showing that, especially in high efficiency washing machines, you probably only are going to need a tablespoon of that soap. So that would drop it down to only 5 cents a load instead of 10 cents a load. So if you're using a really large load in a regular washing machine or a high efficiency one, a really large load in a regular washing machine, 2 tablespoons, 1 tablespoon if it's a smaller load or a high efficiency. So it's between 5 and 10 cents a load depending on how much you're doing your stuff.
So it's more than the liquid one, but it's still cheaper than the ones that you go buy at the store, and you know, all of this product is there. So it's just personal preference. If you like a liquid one, if you like a powder one, or maybe even a mix and stuff. So.
Regular.
Okay, if you have a regular top-loading washing machine and you're doing a large load, you would use 2 tablespoons of the dry. If you have a high efficiency or a medium to small load, only 1 tablespoon. Okay, and I had the question, can you make it into a liquid? The second recipe, and with my research that I did, I would say no. I'm not sure how the crystals would work, make it into a liquid, but for sure the OxiClean, you can't add it to water ahead of time and then be using it over months because it will lose its potency and it won't clean your clothes. So the OxiClean needs to be, done separately.
Now,
Yeah.
I do have to say that my family, we're a household of sensitive skinners,
Uh-huh.
and that Purex Crystals breaks us out.
Okay.
They don't need it.
Yeah.
You can make it
Yeah,
without.
so don't, yeah,
I'm
that's
just
a,
letting people know that
Yeah, that's an
parents use
optional.
those, for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah, this was actually optional.
So
Put
does
it
that
in.
eliminate the use of fabric softener sheets in your dryer then?
This should, it
If I
should,
put that
yes.
in there?
Yeah.
It should, okay.
Okay. Yes, one more.
Do you have another one of this one?
yeah, by
As you
the
walk
door.
out the door.
And if you want
Oh,
to grab
okay.
one for, a friend that wants to see it, there's enough for 80 people, so you could grab, another one if you wanted to do that.
Or at the end, come back and see what's left over and take some of that and stuff.
You-
So, but yeah,
Are you done?
yeah. I think
Okay.
that's the time wise.
Yeah, you're good.
Any other questions or anything like that? Go home, experiment, play with it. If you're already making a soap that you're using, give us the recipe. Somebody earlier told me that they have one that they've been using, and somebody can send us the
I had a friend who
recipe.
used to do